Merry Christmas from Cherie Hanson. Nice to see you. I was thinking today about the aspects of self. There is the body that you were given to take care of. It's like we can't get around this. As soon as our souls come to earth, we're like, here's this body. Uh, so you're in a caretaker position. And the thing that's interesting is that most of us have no idea how to take care of the body. If we are not born into a culture that prizes that. And one of the things I think is so interesting about Western culture is we're not in a place where we have a lot of history of taking care of the body, a lot of wisdom. I often thought of my body when I was heavily in work addiction as a very recalcitrant donkey. And I would be digging my heels in and whipping its side and yelling at it. Every time the physicality of the body came through, oh, I'm tired, or oh, this is too much for me, or oh, I'm not feeling well. What my default setting was you either ignore it or you get angry at it. If you whip your donkey enough, if you drive your donkey hard enough, then you can override the responsibility that you have to take care of yourself. So this is a journey that we're all on. We're all on this journey. Why do people fall ill? Why do people get rheumatoid arthritis or cancer or liver disease or diabetes? And the questions that we come across as we study more and more is because we didn't take care of it. It's kind of like a pet. I always think of the body as a pet. If you're not feeding your pet, giving it good food, making sure that the pet has all types of medicine it needs, that it's feeling safe and cared for, then it's going to get sick. And we have set up a kind of opposition, war, denial with our physicality that goes throughout our culture. Some people are brilliant athletes. Some people are magnificent Michelangelo sculptures they've created out of their musculature and their intention. Some people don't have a clue. Their body is talking to them. It's saying, no, this is too much. Stop, slow down, take care of me. And it is a kind of ferocity of neglect that is seen as admirable, that is seen as, a kind of winning strategy in our culture, as opposed to the cultures that are more connected to the earth, that are more connected to nature. And so this establishing a relationship with our body is something that is like, if you're in a really bad marriage and you're not communicating with one another, you need to go to a counselor. A counselor will sit there and translate. and make sure that you're hearing and speaking. And that's something that has been quite a focus for me in the last 30 years. I remember when a counselor had me put a picture of myself as a 4-year-old on my car visor, because I was so heroic that I felt that having to stop and go to the bathroom was a weakness. And I had things to get done. I had goals. I had work addiction. I needed to prove to myself that I was worthy, that I was someone who could be respected by myself. And so I got caught up in this cycle of you only respect yourself when you're abusing yourself. Now, isn't that an interesting one? So over time, I have found teachers, I have found Buddhist leaders, I have found spiritual leaders who have taught me that when you honor your body and you listen to your body, you're not going to miss out on anything. Like, don't stop and go to the bathroom. You won't get any of your goals done. And then you'll go home at night and you'll feel terrible about yourself. The other thing is stopping. If we were really in tune with our bodies, we would hear when our bodies are saying, please stop. Please sit on this park bench and just look at the water for a while. Please walk between the trees at the waterfront. I need this right now. Take care of me. Listen to me. And so when I'm counseling people, I often say, you need to interview your body. Barbara Walters or, some genius PBS interviewer. And just check in and ask the question, body, what do you need to say to me right now? And when you start to connect to your body, you start to get healthier. And the thing that happens is you have more energy and more time and more possibility for having bigger goals, more exciting goals than if you are, scrooging on yourself, when you are cruel to yourself, when you're not listening to yourself. And so I think about this a lot now at this time of year. It's gray. It's actually kind of beautiful because the fog and the mist is so thick on the hillsides that the trees have this gothic presence. It's looming presence, which is quite beautiful. So my body says to me, can you stop? Can you stop right now? Can you sit down and do breath work or meditate? Or, stop trying to get the brass ring, grabbing, rushing. And the issue we're dealing with is we don't respect ourselves. We don't love ourselves. We don't know how to respect ourselves or love ourselves unconditionally. Right now, I love myself. I love my body. What does body want? Body wants a drink of lime juice with water in it. Body wants to lay down and just drift, mentally drift, daydream, envision, be in a place where we are renewing ourselves. We renew ourselves when we take care of our body. So that's one of the areas when I light the 3 candles, when I do meditation. The 3 candles are body, mind, and spirit. So the body relationship is very dysfunctional in Western society. You're looking to be some kind of extreme athlete, just mounded up and muscled and impressing other people, because as soon as you impress other people, then you have permission to fall in love with yourself. And that's a kind of sick relationship. That's a very neurotic relationship. It's so far from unconditional love. It's tragic. The next one is mind. Our culture is teaching us to be mindless. We are in a place where we have to know why we're learning something. So the process of learning in itself isn't seen to be pleasurable. Learning is for something. It's like yoking oxen to a sled. I have a goal. I want to get a degree. I want to get a certificate. I want to get some kind of validation. I want a result. And that takes away all substance to our mental activity. We get substance with our mental activity when we see learning, reading, studying, changing our opinion, changing our point of view as play. It's kind of like a child taking some mud and some watercolor and blades of grass and just messing it around and see what you come up with. So if learning is seen as care of the mind, then we allow ourselves to follow a path that suddenly appears. I followed the path when I was in high school. I obsessed about Shaw, and I read all of his plays. Why did I read them? Not because it was on the curriculum, not because I was trying to impress anyone, but because it sparked something in me to read all of his plays. I read Paradise Lost out loud to myself when I was grade 11, laying on my bed on my stomach with my knees flexed and the book on a pillow. I'm reading it. Why? Did the teacher assign it? No, the teacher did not assign it. I felt this pull on my heart to experience this. And our culture is failing in that aspect. We need more role models that will show us that learning and making our minds more flexible, more capable, have more depth, have more substance is pleasure. And it's something we should allow ourselves. And the last one is spirit. We're really waking up to the role that spirit plays in our life. We're starting to see people who are on the path of spirit who don't suffer as much as the people who are trapped in the mundane, poverty-ridden darkness of moving rocks from one place to another and feeling good about that. Look what I did today. I did this. I moved the rocks over to the right side of the yard. Now I move them to the left side of the yard. But there are people who are really experiencing and upgrading in spirit. And that's something that I have been pursuing for quite a few years. When I went to Paris and I witnessed so many people being machine gunned down and killed, I was in a place where I understood that I was supposed to learn something from that. I was supposed to grow in my confidence in the role of spirit in my life. When we're not in control, when things are happening, that's when your spiritual development really counts. If the car is out of control on an icy mountain pass and it's spinning around and you can go to spirit, you can go to a place where you are not trying to hold on to control, when you can say to yourself, this is out of my control. What can I control? I can control how calm I am. And when I went through that accident, I knew to relax my hands, to set myself up in a way so that if there was going to be a collision, I would do the least damage to my body. And I chose not to get into a place where just going through this spinning and the loss of control and the potential for a hazard wasn't taking me into a place where I was reacting like a child, where I was just indulging in terror and fright. So these are the three aspects of our lives we really need to focus on in the next year as we go through so much change. Are you listening to your body? What is your body trying to say to you? What does good care of your body look like for you? Is your mind growing? Are you allowing yourself to be like a child who is picking up knowledge like shiny rocks on a beach, starfish? Why do you want to learn? You want to learn because it gives you joy. And because you don't know what that will do for you in the future. But you're going to be able to make more connections once you have a substantial process of thinking. And spiritual growth is like having a good parachute. You can be in a crash, you can be in a place where everything around you is falling in, and you've got this sense that the universe loves you, the universe is taking care of you, and that you are learning something. So this is what I'm saying for the year coming up. Please look at those three aspects of your life. Journal about how far along you are with those. What are your intentions for your growth over the next year? Who do you want to become? What does your higher self look like? It's going to be an adventure. Make sure, you've got a good backpack with survival thoughts in it as we go up the path into God knows what. I want to thank you so much for watching my videos. Please subscribe. Please do leave a comment if you find that it's helpful for you. It's a very nice thing for me to see. It really gives me joy. and also share with somebody else who's dealing with anxiety and who is in a place where they want to grow, but they just don't know how. That's why I make these videos. I'm hoping to show people I did it. You can do it. If you want a psychic reading, if you want life coaching, get a hold of me. 2025 is a great time to set up a plan, to set up a contract, and to begin again. Reset time. And I want to say, as I always do, I appreciate you.